Big question on everyone's mind. When are we going to even see those stimulus checks? Negotiations are underway as we speak, but lawmakers are facing a roadblock trying to decide who will be eligible. Now, under President Biden's plan, individuals making more than $100,000 or couples making more than $200,000 will not get checks. But that is double the threshold proposed by Republicans. Tonight, the White House press secretary says that President Biden is open to discussing the limits, but not the money he wants to send to American families. A final relief package is just weeks away from passing. The White House wants it to be ready by March 14th. That's when unemployment benefits run out.